So as so many people complained about iOS 13.2 and iPadOS being so buggy, Apple has finally come out and has admitted that they're going to do something about it for iOS 14. And yes, before we start, I know this is a story that happened literally a few days ago. I'm late on this, but I wanted to read the whole thing. I wanted to hear more about it before I say something. And honestly, I gotta tell you the truth, I don't trust Apple. And here is why. Hey, what is up everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to Technoid. Yeah, how you guys been? So as you guys know, this semester in school has been very, very rough for me. I've been pushed to pretty much the biggest limit I think I've ever been pushed to with some of these classes, and guys, it's really hard, but thankfully things are starting to slow down now. I have a little bit of time to breathe before I go right back into the studying phase, but I wanted to get a video out there because I miss you guys. I miss the interaction, I miss being with my subscribers, and honestly, it's great to take a break once in a while. But once I get this final hoorah with the finals and everything, I should be good to go, and then I'll be back onto the YouTube grind and we will shoot for 1,000. But until then, I really gotta bucker down and basically go into the end game. We're in the end game now. But anyway, welcome back everybody, and today's video, we're gonna talk about everything that has happened during this past week. And one of them is gonna be an opinion video, so please bear with me. Today is going to be a little controversial. I always say that, but I really feel whenever I say something, people tend to agree or disagree, and when I disagree, everybody blows it up into proportions. You don't really necessarily see it, but trust me, my DMs get it all the time. So please, guys, take what I have to say when I tell you it is all an opinion. This is not facts, except for the stories. So just putting it out there. So let's start this up. So story number one, let's get right into the big one, Apple. Now, as you know, Apple's iOS system has been really one big giant roller coaster every single year. From bugs, to delays, to crashes, to pretty much anything you can think of has happened to iOS. And now iOS 13.2 has been releasing literally software after software after software after software to kind of stabilize this OS, and it is really, really buggy. I have seen so many issues, from multitasking to my HomePod's glitching to 8 a.m. alarms. It is unbelievable the amount of bugs that are in this thing. And for a while everybody said that, oh, Apple cares, they listen. Well, maybe, because according to so many news outlets, you can literally look it up, but I'll leave a link in the description, Apple is actually going to do something about it. So starting next year with iOS 14, they are going to approach a new way of reporting the bugs and getting it done. Now, this really does sound too familiar, but before I see that similarity, let me break it down. So they're going to be handling things a little bit differently. And I honestly think that this new way of handling it is kind of the right approach. Whether it solves the issue or not remains to be seen, because it's all in a year from now. But basically, they are going to be using the platform on a scale of 0 to 100, using a rating system based on the experiences where they need to fix, and also going into the OS itself, going into the codes to try to get these bugs out as best as I can. And honestly, I said it at the beginning, I don't believe Apple, because I have heard this before. We've heard this before. If you guys don't remember iOS 12, how Apple says they are going to listen on the software, they listened. Well, what happened to that? Literally, iOS 12 was one of the best OS that they've ever released. And then 1 year later, it goes back to iOS 11 and iOS 10. Like, what happened? Apple literally said we were listening, we were making it fast, snappy, but also working on the bugs. But at the same time, you go back to how you were and now you say the same thing. I don't necessarily believe you, Apple, because seriously, if you really listened, you wouldn't have done what you did with iOS 13. Yeah, you got the features in, you got the dark mode, you implemented new things, but yet you tried to literally go back to the way things were. And look what happened. macOS Catalina, iPadOS, iOS, hell, even the HomePods are on some of the buggiest softwares they've ever been. And I don't want to hear any excuses from any Apple fans saying, oh, it's still better than Android. That is not a valid excuse anymore. I don't want to hear, at least it's better than Android, because that doesn't make anybody's lives easier. Saying that it's better than Android doesn't benefit me, doesn't benefit people, doesn't benefit anybody except you. Because you think, oh, Android is a buggy mess. Last time I checked, Android is 10 miles ahead. So you better keep your mouth shut. Literally, to use that excuse over and over and over again is like saying that the earthquake in the middle of the ocean doesn't kill. It's the tsunami afterward that kills. Like, what are you trying to say? And the worst part of all is that even when you say that, Android is still ahead. So enough of the whole Android is this and that, it's better than Android. I don't want to hear that. It does nothing for me, and it does nothing for you, and it does nothing for the rest of the people using iOS 13. So get that through your thick skull. Now, back to the video. Do I think Apple is actually going to do something about this? No, I don't think so, because I've heard this before. They did it with iOS 12, and then they went back. So what's to say they're not listening? Do I think it's a possibility? Absolutely, because they want to keep you in their ecosystem. They want to keep your faith. But do I really trust them? That's a good question. So I'm not too sure about that. And do not hit me with the whole Android excuse. I don't want to hear it. So that is story number one. Gotta compose myself. I'm okay.
Easy there, Liberace. Looks like you're about to pop a blood vessel.
Look, I don't need you right now. I'm in the middle of a video, so if you got something intelligent to say, zip it.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on to story number two. This story... Sorry, I need a couple seconds.
Hey man, take 5, take 10, take how long you want. You know, the people are only waiting to watch you make this video.
Alright, I get it. I don't need to hear you now. I literally said if you don't have anything important to say, zip it. Anyway, story number two, Samsung. Now, Samsung has been basically doing God knows what they do. And for the most part, they've been doing their own thing with smartphones for the S11, S11 Plus, and S11e. Focusing on the S11e, it looks like the S11e is going to have a little more cameras. So according to the rumor mill, that apparently the S11e will be packing a third camera to accommodate, because going forward these new phones will be having 4 cameras, so 3 cameras on the budget and kind of will give it that budget feel. Now, I've kind of been honest with you guys, and I'm going to be open and upfront. I don't necessarily need 3 cameras on a phone. I'm fine with 2. And honestly, I still say to this day the iPhone 11 is probably one of the best iPhones that Apple's ever made. And I don't care what anyone says about design or blah. I think that 2 cameras does the job well. You got your ultra wide and regular telephoto. The point that I'm trying to say is that the S11e, while yeah, it's cool that you're adding value, it doesn't necessarily mean that people are gonna buy that. Now, it probably will sell well, because you know, 3 cameras is more than enough for people at this day and age. But do I really think it's gonna be a game changer? Again, I don't know. But the S11e is of course going to be getting a curved display, the rumor says, and it will probably be around the $800, $900 range because of these extra upgrades. Now the last story, and now comes the opinion part of this video. Tesla's ass. Every time they make a car. Now, before we start this video, I am no way, shape, and form insulting anybody that loves Tesla or any tech YouTuber that uses Tesla. I'm not going to do that. I have a problem with tech YouTubers talking about Tesla, because every time they talk about Tesla, they always link it back to tech. And the problem is, Tesla is a car company, and you don't know anything about cars. Look at the new Tesla, this pickup truck that Tesla made. Apparently, this is going to be their eco. Now, Tesla's been using batteries. They are trying to go for an eco-friendly style, and Teslas are a lot more affordable than what they used to be, so everybody can get their hands on a Tesla. The problem is that every big YouTuber has been up their ass about every Tesla model, all because it has a great battery that you can recharge and use. And the problem is that they forget that it's a car. They think of it as an iPhone. And what bothers me is that there are actual real car YouTube channels. Some of them are great that break down cars, talks about the transmission, the engine, V6, V4. They talk so much in detail about cars that these tech channels like Jerry Rig, MKPHD, and then we go take it a step forward, Tailosive, so many tech channels talking about Tesla. And it's annoying because they're not talking about the car, the internals. They're talking about the experience and as if it was an iPhone or a smartphone. Guys, why are you talking about a car? You're a tech channel. For God's sakes, talk about tech. You want to talk about the tech in a Tesla? That's cool. But to review the car like Mr. Mobile? Seriously? You think you know anything about cars? Now, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm not saying that, but do you really think I'm gonna take your word if I'm buying a car? Hell no! I'm going to a real, car YouTuber that knows a hell lot more than any tech channel that knows about cars, and I'm gonna take their advice. So, my problem is that they cover this stuff and they're taking away from car YouTube channels. So my advice to tech channels, stick to one lane. Stop trying to go down Tesla. Because literally, going down that path will end up like their demo. Crash. Glass is glass and glass breaks. Jerry Riggs said it best. That demo was god-awful. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys when I see you. And peace.